Okay, let's try again.
Okay.
Let's try again beginning now. Okay, please. Try beginning. Okay, let's continue to starting beginning without sharing.
Okay, now good morning everybody. Today first of all I would like to introduce myself. I am Chandasiri from Sri Lanka. I work at the Department of Pali and Buddhist Studies at the University of Sri as a professor in Pali. Today I am going to discuss about the early Buddhism. Actually, one day Dr. Elizabeth Nunn asked me to make few lectures on early Buddhism. Therefore, I prepared few presentation. I prepared few topics on early Buddhism. The first one is the first topic or first lecture on the first lecture for that is introduction to early Buddhism. Therefore, now I would like to make my presentation, make my lecture on early Buddhism. Right. Okay. Actually, there are few synonyms for the early Buddhism. Somebody says primitive Buddhism for early Buddhism, as well as pre-canonical Buddhism, and that is also a word given for the early Buddhism. Not only that one, somebody says the original Buddhism. It is also a synonym given for the word early Buddhism. Actually, there are different ideas about the early Buddhism. Therefore, I think it is better to identify clearly what early Buddhism, which period it contains, and etc. Actually, there is no same idea about what early Buddhism is. Therefore, it should be understood. It should be discussed about by using the views and interpretations given by the Buddhist scholars. Therefore, we should discuss about the early Buddhism by using the using the definition, interpretations given by scholars. Actually, we should understand early Buddhism by using few things. Definitely, the language of the canon, and also develop sutras recorded in Pali canon, especially in Sutta Pitaka. And also it can be identified by using the Mahayana Buddhism and Mahayana teachings and everything. Those are the facts we have to use to identify what early Buddhism is. Therefore, actually, as I told you earlier, we should understand, we should think, we should discuss actually what early Buddhism is. Somebody says that early Buddhism is Buddha's living period. Somebody says that early Buddhism is Buddha's living period. What Buddha's living period? In which period Buddha lived? We have to understand that one. As you heard, as you know, Buddha lived in the 6th century AD. 6th century BC. In that period, Buddha lived and he preached Dhamma for 45 years, and he passed away in the 5th period, even though he was born in 6th period. So therefore, somebody says that actually the 45 years is the early Buddhism. Buddha preached his Dhamma for 45 years. Actually, the problem is that nowadays, when we are talking about the fundamental teaching, we are using the canon. Canon means Tripitaka or three baskets. Three baskets, Tripitaka means the Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, and also Abhidhamma Pitaka. So all those three Pitakas or three baskets are called Buddha's preaching. That is called canon. Therefore, by using all those three Pitakas, we are teaching the early Buddhism. The thing is actually Buddha's living period. We have to understand, we have to clear, we have to discuss thoroughly, discuss carefully. At that time, I mean, Buddha's living period, there was the three Pitaka. You know, at the passing away of Buddha, one day, Venerable Anandathera asked Buddha to appoint a leader for the dispensation. At that time, what was the Buddha's answer? You know, Buddha answered him, Aham Dhammocha Desito, I have preached Dhamma. Vinayocha Panyato, I promulgated disciplinary rules. Sovo Mamachena Sata, it should be that it is the leader of the dispensation after Buddha's demise. It was his answer for the question asked by Venerable Anandathera. So now it is clear that at the Buddha's passing away, you know, Buddha's passing away, there was two types of Buddha's preaching. It is called what? Dhamma and Vinaya. The problem here is, you can see, the problem arises here is, you know, we cannot see the preaching called Abhidhamma at that time, right? At the Buddha's, at the Buddha's passing away, at that time there was no preaching called Abhidhamma, because it is clear that Buddha answered Venerable Anandathera on Dhammocha Vinayocha, Dhamma and Vinaya. I think you can understand what does it mean. Next thing is, you know, it is now first at the beginning of this lecture, I told you somebody says that early Buddhist period is the Buddha's living period. Now, it is clear that we cannot take it clearly because, you know, Buddha's living period, we cannot see that he has preached the Abhidhamma. Nowadays, we are using the Abhidhamma as Buddha's preaching. Therefore, at that time, we cannot see the preaching of Abhidhamma, Buddha's living period. That is the problem, right? Actually, normally we can see that he has the Abhidhamma has been preached by Buddha normally, because, you know, the Buddha preached Abhidhamma Pitaka for the gods and everything. The problem is, you know, at the passing away of Buddha, he has not mentioned about the Abhidhamma Pitaka. Not only that part, you know, you all have heard about the first Buddhist Council. I think you all have heard about the first Buddhist Council, which was held after 3 months of passing away of Buddha. After 3 months of passing away of Buddha, first Buddhist Council was held, right? The oldest evidence recorded on first Buddhist Council is the Chullavarga Pali. The Panchasatika Kandaka of Chullavarga Pali is the oldest record on first Buddhist Council, right? First Buddhist Council. Actually, when we consider about the first Buddhist Council, we cannot see that, we cannot find that the Abhidhamma Pitaka has been preached by Buddha, because there is no any evidence, any idea of the Abhidhamma Pitaka. You know, Etene Upayana Panchapinikaya Pucha, there is a statement like that. Etene Upayana Panchapinikaya Pucha means what? The Dhamma has been divided into five parts, Nikaya. What does it mean? Dīgha Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya, Samyutta Nikaya, Anguttara Nikaya, and Uddaka Nikaya. Those are the Pancha Nikaya or 5 parts of Buddha's preaching, right? In addition to that, not only that one, Buddha has preached, right? Buddha has preached the Vinaya by dividing into 2 parts. Ubato means 2. So Vinaya can be divided into 2 parts. What is that? That is the Ubato Vibhanga means Parajika Pali and Pachitya Pali. Actually, other parts of Vinaya Pitaka can be seen in the Chullavagga Pali. Especially Panchadika Khanda goes to Chullavagga Pali. And now we have to think twice about the other parts of Vinaya Pitaka, because those 3 parts, I mean Mahavagga Pali, Chullavagga Pali, and Parivara Pali, those 3 categories cannot be seen in Please, dear Dhamma friend and monks and nuns, we have to consider something recorded in Panchasatika Khandaka of Chullavagga Pali. At the end of the Panchasatika Khandaka, right? At the end of the Panchasatika Khandaka, we can see there are 8 verses. The 4th verse of Panchasatika Khandaka, I mean, at the end of Panchasatika Khandaka, says that Pitakang Tini Sangiting, right? That is one of line of the 4th stanza recorded at the end of the Panchasatika Khandaka. There is a statement called Pitakang Tini Sangiting. What does it mean? Pitakang Tini Sangiting. What does it mean? It means 3 Bhaskit or 3 Pitaka or Tipitaka. Normally we call Tipitaka means Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. Even though we are talking about the Tipitaka as Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka, the problem is actually in the contents of Panchasatika Khandaka. We cannot find about the Abhidhamma Pitaka. That is the problem, right? Therefore, it is clear that in the first Buddhist Council, we cannot see even one evidence about the Abhidhamma Pitaka. But at the end of the Panchasatika Khandaka, we can see that statement. I mean, that's line of the stanza. That's all. Right. Therefore, it is clear that at the first Buddhist Council, we cannot see the. Now, what does it mean? Now, we cannot identify, we cannot say that the early Buddhism can be considered from enlightenment of Buddha to first Buddhist Council. We cannot consider about that one. We cannot say about that one. That is the, we cannot say that is the early Buddhist period, right? We cannot say that. In addition to that, now let's move to the second Buddhist Council as well. This council, you know, the second Buddhist Council was held after the 100 years of passing away of the Buddha. After 100 years of passing away of the Buddha, the second Buddhist Council was held, right? The reason for that is, you know, the monks who lived in Vesali used 10 unlawful things, right? 10 unlawful matters, factors. That is the reason for the second Buddhist Council. Anyway, what happened at the end of the second Buddhist Council? All those unlawful prohibited, right? And also after the second Buddhist Council, the same Buddhism, the same dispensation was divided into 18 parts. That is called 18 schools or 18 sects. Normally, we say that part. It is given in different kind of sources like Mahavansa, Deepavansa, and all other historical sources we can see. the 18 sects or schools after the second Buddhist council. Actually, no need to talk about that one. The special thing we have to consider about the second Buddhist council is that Dhamma Vinaya, second Buddhist council. We cannot find even one word about the Abhidhamma Pitaka according to the evidence recorded in the Sattvatika Khandaka of Chullavarga Pali, right? That is the oldest evidence we can find about the second Buddhist council. According to the Abhidhamma, according to the second Sattvatika Khandaka of Chullavarga Pali, right? According to the Sattvatika Khandaka of Chullavarga Pali, we cannot find even one word about the Abhidhamma Pitaka. Then what does it mean? It is clear that at the second Buddhist council, up to second Buddhist council, there was no Pitaka called Abhidhamma Pitaka. Then what does it mean? No, now it means we cannot identify that up to second Buddhist council. That is the from up to the second Buddhist council. That is the early Buddhism. Why? There is, if it is early Buddhism, the Abhidhamma Pitaka also should be there. But now, up to second Buddhist council, we cannot see the Pitaka called Abhidhamma. Now, I think it is clear according to the oldest evidence, namely Sattvatika Khandaka given in Chullavarga Pali. Now let's move to the third Buddhist council as well. Unfortunately, actually, about the third Buddhist council, we cannot see the evidence given in canon. It is not mentioned in the Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, or Abhidhamma Pitaka. About the third Buddhist council, we have to learn about third Buddhist council by using the other historical chronicles and other Mahayana sources, etc. By using all those sources, we can find out the third Buddhist council. Anyway, when we consider about the third Buddhist council, it is clear that, right? It is clear that at the third Buddhist council, at the beginning of the third Buddhist council, there were 6 textbooks for the Abhidhamma Pitaka. It is clear, right? What are the 6 textbooks for the Abhidhamma? Puggala Panyati, Yamaka, Pattan. So all those textbooks were there. At the third Buddhist council, what happened? At the third Buddhist council, Arahat Moggaliputta Tissa Thera composed a textbook, namely Kathavattu Pakarana. By writing the Kathavattu Pakarana, Abhidhamma Pitaka contains 7 textbooks, right? Abhidhamma Pitaka contains 7 textbooks. That is how Abhidhamma Pitaka was completed, right? That is how Abhidhamma Pitaka was completed. Now it is clear that Tripitaka is completed at what time? Tripitaka was completed at the third Buddhist council. Third Buddhist council means what? Third Buddhist council means actually third Buddhist council was held after 236 years of Buddha's passing away. Yeah, now you have to understand actually the second Buddhist council was held after 100 years of passing away of Buddha. Third Buddhist council was held after 236 years after passing away of the Buddha. Then now I think you can understand after the second Buddhist council and before the third Buddhist council. After the second Buddhist council and before the third Buddhist council. It's mean within 136 years. Within 136 years. Abhidhamma Pitaka was originated and developed. Finally, at the third Buddhist council, it was completed. Now it is clear that, right? Now it is clear that there's no hesitation. The Tripitaka was completed, right? Tripitaka was completed at the third Buddhist council. Therefore, some of Buddhist scholars say that early Buddhism is from Buddha's enlightenment to third Buddhist council. The reason for that is, as I told you earlier, at that time, I mean, at the third Buddhist council, Tripitaka was completed. Therefore, somebody says that from the enlightenment of Buddha to third Buddhist council, it can be considered as the early Buddhist period. Therefore, during that period means from Buddha's enlightenment to third Buddhist council. Normally, how many years are there? Actually, 236 years, and Buddha lived how many years? 45 years. Then all normally all years are 281 years. During that period means during the 281 period, the preaching of Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka can be considered as the early Buddhism, right? Can be considered as the early Buddhism. During that period, I mean the 281 period, the Buddhism was developed and some of preaching were added to the three basket or Tripitaka. Therefore, some Buddhist scholars say that that is the early Buddhist period, right? The preaching, the Sutta, Vinaya, actually not normally Vinaya is not preached, Vinaya is promulgated. Anyway, preaching Sutta, Vinaya, and Abhidhamma, right? In those period, I mean the 281 years, normally it is considered as the early Buddhism and early early Buddhism. Normally we talk about the fundamental teachings by using the preaching made during that period. So now you have to understand, actually, even today we are talking about the fundamental teaching like Four Noble Truth, three characteristics, and rebirth, karma or action, and all other fundamental teachings we are discussing by using the early Buddhism developed up to third Buddhist council, right? Third Buddhist council. Normally, that is the early Buddhism. Normally, we can consider, right? That is not the same idea as at the beginning of this lecture. I told you there are different ideas. Normally, we can consider, right? We can think that up to third Buddhist council, the early Buddhism. So by using the early Buddhism, namely Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. Hereafter, we can discuss about the fundamental teachings, like as I told you earlier, the Four Noble Truth, Eightfold Path, three characteristics, and everything, right? Now, I think from next week, we can discuss about that one by using the early Buddhism recorded up to third Buddhist Council. So today, I think it is enough. I am not going to talk about that one at length here. If you have any question about my lecture, about my introduction on introduction to early Buddhism, now I think this is the time for that one. And also the if you have comments, you can make your comments as well. So thank you very much for listening and participation for my lecture. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bhante Chandasiri Theros. Today, you are first day to teaching our early Buddhism about what is an actual early Buddhism and its period. Buddha's is living periods up to the third Buddhist council and canonical text writing after the third Buddhist council. Normally, Buddhists believe that at the third Buddhist council, canon was prepared. And up to third Buddhist council, we can think that it is the early Buddhism. So today, very much about, you just conclude, but it's the very big issue for us to learning, not only one time, but it's early Buddhism. It's a long way to learn about Buddhism. The practice before I ask others, Bhantes, monks, Mahaj, and brother and sister, and all my friends out there have any question for Bhante Chandasiri, I would like to tell all my the Vietnamese students today, because she don't have the sharing, maybe they miss a lot of understandings. Nam mô Bổn sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Thì sư cô xin phép chia sẻ với quý vị là hôm nay Bhante Doctor Philosophy là tiến sĩ Chandasiri giảng dạy cho chúng ta trong chương trình Bich Lien International Buddhist Institute về Phật giáo Nguyên Thủy. Phật giáo Nguyên Thủy được thực sự là thời kỳ trước, trong thời kỳ Đức Phật, thời Đức Phật tại thế lên đến Hội đồng Phật giáo lần thứ 3, về kinh điển được viết sau thời kỳ mà Đức Phật giáo lần thứ 3 đó. Và thông thường Phật tử tin rằng tại kỳ mà kết lập đó thì Phật giáo lần thứ 3 kinh điển đã được chuẩn bị, và cho đến kết tập Phật giáo lần thứ 3 đó thì chúng ta có thể nghĩ rằng đó là Phật giáo khai sơn, và nhưng không có sự nhất trí. Cho nên hôm nay sư Chandasiri đã giảng cho chúng ta về ngắn gọn về đề tài về Phật giáo Nguyên Thủy mà Early Buddhism là thời kỳ của Đức Phật trước đây. Thì đó là tóm lược của sư cô xin chia sẻ cùng tất cả quý vị. Đề tài này rất là dài về cái chương trình Phật giáo Nguyên Thủy mà thời kỳ của Đức Phật thời bấy giờ, nó rất là dài. Sư chỉ tóm lược ngày hôm nay trong cái ngày này lần đầu tiên mà sư giảng với chúng ta mà thôi. Bây giờ chúng con xin đi đầu đánh lễ Most Venerable Thích Giác Pháp. Nếu mà Hòa Thượng có đôi điều chia sẻ về cái Phật giáo Nguyên Thủy Early Buddhism thì xin Hòa Thượng có thể tóm lược vài ý chính của cái bài giảng của Dr. Bhante Chandasiri ngày hôm nay. Now I would like to introduce every one of you, Bhante, brother and sister, have any add up? I think I believe in all of you understanding and been study a lot for Buddhism. especially early Buddhism, all of the monks we've been through. So can I ask someone to have any add up today, conclude with Bhante Chandasiri today, before Master Most Venerable have the final conclusion for us? I believe each and every one of us been study early Buddhism. Am I right? So can I have one of the Bhante sharing what you've been studying? Anyone can raise your hand to share with us, or I can appoint one. Can I have some monks, one of the monks to share? I believe in each and every one of us been study early Buddhism. So especially Sri Lankan monks and nuns, right? Can I have some idea or advice? No, no one really want to share?
I think if you have any question, now it is time to ask, no problem actually, and also the comments as well, right? You can make your comments as well, no problem.
You know, Bhante, I think all of us, we should learn over and over, each and every day, include monks or nuns or lay peoples. All devotees, we have to learning each and every day from the Buddhism, from the Buddha,
Yes.
Dhamma.
Yes.
So I believe in all of us, monks and nuns should learning every day, each day, to memorize and practice and action ourselves. And I believe in all the Bhante understand about this too. So why don't I have someone willing to share with us? No one really want to share, or you don't remember? If I want to say, if you don't want to say something, and my point is you don't remember at all. Can we have something?
Yes.
Yeah, Bhante, please.
Yes, good morning, all of you. And I was very happy because Venerable Dr. Chandasiri Tero, he was one of my lecturer in our university life.
Good.
Therefore, but actually I don't have any question. This is very complicated topic, and he did his lesson well. And I wanted to thank to him for this lesson. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Venerable Sugatananda Thera. Actually, he is one of our student who studied at the Buddhism-Bhante University of Sri Lanka. I am very happy to hear you, and thank you very much, Venerable Sugatananda Thera. Yes.
Thank you so much, Bhante Sugatananda. Can you share with us a little bit, a very short topics about early Buddhism you've been studies?
Sorry.
Can you share a little what you've been studying early Buddhism?
Actually, he was my teacher and the lecturer. He did it better than me. We also learn this topic from him. Therefore, actually, I don't have any question and to share anything. He did well. All the councils, first and second and third council, according to this council, we can understand what are the early Buddhism and how it arranged and composed Pali canon, all these things. Therefore, Venerable Dr. Chandasiri Thera, he explained it well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bhante. You have no further question about your teachers. I think I believe in early Buddhism. We have a lot of detachments and undetachment. So like you mentioned about the Third Buddhism Council, and I would like you to teach and sharing next time more about compassion of the early Buddhism and the disciple of the early Buddhism from beginnings of the Buddha teachings. I think this issue is very big issue and very long. So each time you can teach about 30 minutes, so it's not enough for us to learning. So I would like to respect you and request you to teach each time 30 minutes. So days by days for us to learn together. So by little, we can learn and we can review each other's every day. And I very appreciate your time today very much to explanation roughly about the early Buddhism. So that's what the one I want to test all the monks. Let's see how the monk remember or memorize, because all of us in our life have to learning each and every day and practicing and actions. If you don't review learning and actions and you don't practice any at all. So in order to expectation for other devotees or lay people to learning, you have to practice first. If you don't practice and actions and nobody follow you, follow us. And that's it the way I ask for the Mahasangha, brother and sister, have to show the expertise of your learning. I'm excuse myself, I apologize for myself first, but because I live in lay life and now I'm Buddhism life, I have the question the same way of my devotees. So I have many devotees text me many questions. So that's the way I presenting on behalf of them to tell all the Mahasangha, and I would love to learn from you, and all my devotees love to learn from you. That's why sometimes I expectation all the monks Mahasangha with us here to share your expertise, to show us you learning, practicing, and actions. I apologize about this, okay? So right now I would like to respect and invite Most Venerable Master Thích Giác Pháp. He can have a little bit add up what he been learning about his life for early Buddhism. I don't think he learning about early Buddhism from Theravada, but he have learning some of the Mahayana. We are Theravada Buddha followers, and I believe in he been learning, at least he remember right now he's 84 years old, but he's still practicing in Buddhism his life. So I believe in he have experiences too. So I would like to respect and invite Most Venerable Thích Giác Pháp to have any idea, advice. Thank you so much, Most Venerables. Con xin cung thỉnh Hòa Thượng có đôi điều về early Buddhism, về Phật giáo nguyên thủy từ đầu, khởi đầu, và trong cái thời điểm của Phật giáo lần thứ 3. A Di Đà Phật. Kính bạch Hòa Thượng, cung thỉnh Hòa Thượng hoan hỷ.
The lecture today introduced us about the early Buddhism. Talk about the Theravada. I think most of listeners in Zoom today are monks of Theravada. It is better let them share. Today I have no idea, maybe tomorrow.
Okay, Master, thank you very much. So anyone have any idea? Can you please, like Master say, this is early Buddhism for especially for Theravada Buddhism. So anyone, any conclusion or add up idea or any other things for Bhante, Chandasiri, the professor of Bali and Doctor Philosophy of Buddhism. So let him explanations all the questions, whatever we concern or we want to learn or we want to review over and over. So he's here for us. He's still teaching right now. He's lecturing right now. So we can learn from him. Am I right? so we can have any question we like. Right, Charlie? Yeah. Any question you like to, because we like to learn from professor, we like to learn from Dr. Philosophy, we like to learn from master. We have many master here. We have many doctors in our Zoom. So why not we learn, right? We have any question we like. So I would love to have all your questions and I can learn too. So he the expertise professor, so we can learn, please. No, don't hesitate and embarrassing to ask, no embarrassing to ask or any questions. So maybe I have no one to have. How about Charlie? Do you have any other question? Maybe you knew like me too, right?
I am pretty new. And I'll be honest with you, I've never heard of early Buddhism. I've been trying to learn the Dharma and I read the sutras and everything like that.
I see.
This might be a dumb question, but what is so important about early Buddhism? What I got out of it today is how they kind of started writing the Pali Canon. Am I right? I mean, what is, other than the obvious, what is so important about the early Buddhism, learning about it? Is it different from learning just regular about the Dharma and different sutras, or what?
Yes, that's a good question. Bhante Chandasiri, can you explain what the difference, the early Buddhism and the Buddhism? I think that's the best questions because they don't know early Buddhism. What is early Buddhism? It come from Theravada. That's the early Buddhism. From North, from Theravada like Sri Lanka, India, Cambodia, India. Some that kind they call like early Buddhism. Can you explain more, Bhante? Maybe your speaker off, please. I think your speaker up right now, Bhante.
Yes, thank you very much for your question, Charlie Radcliffe. Thank you very much. And actually, here you have to understand what early Buddhism and Buddhism. Actually, I prepared my presentation today. I made my lecture today regarding the early Buddhism with reference to the Theravada tradition. According to the Theravada tradition, early Buddhism means the teachings of Buddha recorded in Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. That is called early Buddhism, right? In addition to that, in some of Theravadic countries like Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Thailand, etc. Some of teachings and some of concepts have been added to the Buddhism after the Tripitaka, Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. I mean, by using the commentaries and all sorts of commentaries, and not only that one, by using the chronicles as well. Right, so all those by using all those historical sources, some of religious facts have been added to the Buddhism. That is called Buddhism. But early Buddhism is what? Early Buddhism is the teachings of Buddha recorded in Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. For example, I'll tell you. Normally, right? Normally, we believe that after the enlightenment, Buddha have spent 7 weeks in different places, like under the boat tree, something like that. I think you all have heard about that one. After the enlightenment, he has spent 7 places. you know about that one. The thing is actually, when we consider about that one, only 4 places have been recorded in the early Buddhism. Early Buddhism means actually only 4 places can be seen in the Mahavagga Pali in Vinaya Pitaka, right? Then what happened other 3 places and other 3 weeks after the enlightenment of Buddha? All those 3 weeks and all those 3 places cannot be seen in early Buddhism. Early Buddhism means in Vinaya Pitaka. We cannot see that one. Then how we can believe that? How we can see that those 3 places? It can be seen in Pali commentaries and other historical sources. So it is called Buddhism, no? It is called Buddhism. In early Buddhism, we can see only 4 weeks. After that, we can find other 3 weeks in Pali commentaries and other historical sources like chronicles and some commentaries and other sources. That is how you have to identify what early Buddhism is and what Buddhism is. Okay.
That's one day, meaning the early Buddhism is like the beginnings from the Buddha start from India and other countries from north, from Cambodia, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Myanmar, some kind like that. The early Buddhism is mean Theravada Buddhism, and later on the Buddha spreading the Buddhism to other countries. So that roughly about Buddhism Sutra from the Bhante Chandasiri to teach for us. So I think he will continue more about the early Buddhism, Theravada Buddhism, because many people, they confusing about Theravada Buddhism and Mahayana Buddhism. The Mahayana Buddhism, that means new Buddhism, new country after the Buddha spreading to teaching. So that's why we have Theravada and Mahayana. Yeah, the Theravada Buddhism means originally from not from the Buddhism spreading from the Buddha, so they call it original. So Theravada, early Buddhism. So we have to find out more from Dr. Philosophy Bhante Chandasiri in the future. So I hope he come back and give us more knowledge and let us study about that. Right, Charlie? Yeah, thank you very much. And Nam Mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Thưa quý vị, nói đến early Buddhism của Dr. Philosophy Chandasiri đó là nó đồng nghĩa với Phật giáo Nguyên Thủy. Mà Phật giáo Nguyên Thủy là nói đến cái giáo tiền kinh điển. Nói đến Phật giáo Nguyên Thủy thì có nhiều cái loại khác nhau về Phật giáo gọi là khai sơ đó thưa quý vị. Và Phật giáo Nguyên Thủy là đã đến từ Ấn Độ, rồi đến từ các nước Myanmar, Sri Lanka và các nước như là Cambodia, những cái đất nước bên đó, sau rồi mới trở về đến đất nước Việt Nam và những đất nước sau này đến Tàu, đến China, thành ra mới gọi là Theravada và Mahayana Nguyên Thủy và Đại Thừa, sau này bên Bắc Tông của mình gọi là Đại Thừa đó thưa quý vị. Nói về kinh điển về phát triển Phật giáo Đại Thừa, cho nên trong kinh điển có nói rằng Phật giáo Nguyên Thủy chứa đựng trong cái thời kỳ mà giảng dạy khai sơ của Đức Phật. Đó là mà chúng ta nên hiểu rằng tại sao mà có Theravada Nguyên Thủy và Mahayana là gọi là Phật giáo phát triển sau này, gọi là Phật giáo Đại Thừa thưa quý vị. Thì đó là những cái danh gọi cũng như là những cái kinh điển mà chúng ta nên học. Cho nên ngày hôm nay con cũng mạo muội đã mời Dr. Philosophy tiến sĩ Chandasiri để về đến với chương trình giảng dạy của Bich Lien International Buddhist Institute to sharing Dhamma with us. So because he the lecturing right now, he teaching in university in Kandy right now. So he have many students there. So we have a lot of chance to learn from him. So I would like to be half of Bich Lien International Buddhist Institute. Thank you so much for your time, Bhante Chandasiri, to accept my invitation to take your time very busy, very valuable, very expensive time, but you still sharing with us. I very appreciate from my heart. So I would take this opportunity to thank you so much. And I wish you all have a very healthy, very happy, very peaceful and success, especially in our spiritual life. So I looking forward to see you for next time on the lectures for continue early Buddhism for us. And I would like to say goodbye now to each and every one of you. And I would like to wish you have a very good dreams and very good sleep. And every one of you in America have enjoyed your life and enjoyed your day today, very good days. And I look forward to see you tomorrow on my previous Zoom or this Zoom. I will let you know by tomorrow with the internet. I apologize, it's inconvenience today, all of you. And I will say goodbye right now and see you tomorrow the same time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, most venerable. And I wish you have a good day too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Charlie. Thank you, tụi con hôm nay tụi con